believe it?
No, I can't.
Yeah, it's probably best that you don't. Oh, I clicked Chrome and it opened in a quarter second. Ah, that was nice. Bum ba bum bum ba ba bum bum ba da da bum ba dum bum ba da dum bum 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 bum.
Is everyone supposed to be here today?
Yes. Faisal will most likely be a little bit later, but everyone should be here. I don't know about Moo because Moo might be doing something, and he's
Yeah.
not on main roster. He'll probably tune in for the stream though.
Yeah, I have a stream up.
Okay, so
Bubba, robot.
Hey.
It's been a while.
feels good,
Hey,
man.
Dan. How are you?
By the way,
I'm
Max,
great.
I plugged your stream for my coach.
I'm always great. Now we get to
For a
do
what?
Squeaky squeaks. I miss the squeaky squeaks.
I plugged your stream for the team my coach.
Oh, did
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Thank you. I think I
I
need.
coach a team.
Maybe I should coach a team. I think it's probably a good experience.
I'm the whole team.
It is. It is. But just make sure
you
you're.
coach yourself.
Just
I
make sure
coach
you're not like
myself.
spreading misinformation, because that I have to deal with that a lot, and like people don't have the proper information, and then information can change. So stuff I say won't always be correct, or maybe like another coach will have a better answer than me. So I always like people to keep in mind, like, think for yourselves. It'll be
Yeah,
the best thing you ever do for your gameplay.
have your own thought process.
Bum ba bum bum ba ba bum bum ba da da bum ba bum 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 ba da 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 doom bum.
I
It's also just good for the coach, right? Because the coach can learn something from his players, right?
Mhm.
Like a lot of people think it's such a one-way thing. It's like, no, it's a two-way thing.
No, it's
I was
as long as you
thinking
have
this here.
yeah, as long as you have like a decent
Like
communication and respect. Yeah, it's all good.
You're like, for example, let's say Max tells Build something, and Build's like, well, wait a minute, shouldn't you do this? And Max is like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
It's actually a pretty good idea. Yeah.
But most of the time, it's just bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Bum ba bum bum ba ba bum bum. Doo 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 doo.
I thought I turned.
Very quiet, but yes.
What? No way. What about this?
I turn my clocks on. Maybe I need to play around with it a bit more.
What about
Oh
this?
no, I'm talking about SB.
What about this?
Oh
wait.
Yeah, no, there you go. There you go. There you go.
How about that?
A little louder.
Well, I'm trying to like be quiet, cause like I don't want it to be too like pick up everything, you know? Cause I don't want my keyboard too loud. Wait, I can just check.
The worst part about streaming is trying to pronounce people's names who like follow you and shit.
Yeah.
So I just got
I
one.
purposefully butcher
Just
it
like
on purpose. I
yeah.
purposefully Maximira Rubot Bibal and Stirpapium.
That's why I just go by
Thank you.
Max.
So many people call me Robert.
Robert.
I can't. So my actual name is Daniel, but I can't use that in the Oregon Ospreys team because we have two other Daniels on that team.
Oh yeah. Danny, yes. It's just like three
Yeah,
people.
Danny,
Yeah?
Dano, yeah, and those are their usernames. But thanks for the follow, and I'm not even gonna try to pronounce that because I will butcher it.
Are you streaming Aura?
Yeah, I always stream.
Yeah, he's streaming. That's where we're looking at the VOD.
Gotcha.
I need like, when I do this, I need to like set up like a push to talk thing so I can like talk to chat or say something without like interrupting you guys.
Yeah.
But I haven't got that far yet. I don't even think I have the notifications working properly. but you know, NA streamer, new to this whole thing. Wait, if I, can you guys hear me?
Nope.
Wait, your stream?
Unfortunately.
No, can you hear me in Discord?
Yes.
Definitely not.
Okay, I was just trying something.
What's Frostbite streaming?
Moose.
Do you guys don't need the link to my stream, right? Should you guys all have it?
And we can also just click on your name and click watch.
That is
It's pretty
true, you
easy.
can.
That's just.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty darn easy. And there's also, what was that service we used that could be useful?
Q.gg.
Yeah.
I have
That
not
was really good.
used. Yeah, I haven't really used Q. I need.
It's useful. It's actually pretty good.
It's really good.
Yeah, I've heard that it is.
It syncs up well, although, but then you don't get view botted by all your team, all your.
Yeah, right. I want to be an
team
affiliate.
players, so.
I want.
Hell yeah.
Gotta get average 3 viewers.
What was
and
my
stream a lot,
password
so, you know.
on this?
Oh, leaked passwords and usernames. Fuck.
Is that right? Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to have.
Step
I just want to have Step Banana open in case I want to
Is that
flip
free?
over to it. No. Well, there's some of it is free. I can't remember, but I bought it when it was like a one and done thing, and now it's like a yearly subscription or something like that.
Wait, so you can't buy it? That's pretty
Yeah. Well, it's a yearly or a monthly thing now. You can't just.
pretty weird. Pretty
but-
weird, champ.
Yeah, so I have like a kind of like not a full edition, but since I supported it before it went to like yearly or monthly or whatever it is, I still have like a working version that I can use for a lot of shit.
Mhm.
But it just doesn't have like all the features in the premium one has basically.
Gotcha.
I'm going to get water. Oh shit, I have 9 viewers now.
Dog. Well, so
I
then
need
it's
1. If I get 1 more viewer, that's my record. My record is 9 so far.
Well, let me
Alright,
open
go.
up 3 tabs on the
Yeah,
VPN and
let me
3
just-
different accounts.
Let me just open up another account real quick.
All right. I got
Hey,
my
look,
secondary
you suddenly
server.
got 50 followers. I wonder why that is.
Let me open it up on my tablet, on my phone, on my server PC, on my mom's 2 laptops, and my sister's iMac
Twitch
and her MacBook.
Twitch, just a disclosure, we are not doing that. It is not. That is not true. We are not creating
Well, I am.
accounts. Oh wait, no.
Am I-
Fuck.
Oh, see, I've got my second smartphone, and then my sister's tablet, and then my sister's smartphone.
I mean,
My
I'm not
parents'
responsible
smartphone.
for you guys, so
Yeah.
I'm not promoting it.
Oh, and then their iPad too. Can't forget about that. What am I up to? Like 10 devices now?
I feel like you would literally just buffer off of the stream. If you
No,
feel
no,
like
no,
all
one-
of your
one-
Just
videos-
fucking-
No. I'll by the time it gets that many viewers, quality options will be available. So like, we'll be good to go. Just set it to 144p.
I'm more concerned about followers right now. I want to get 50 so I can get
well,
affiliate
Those
status.
are easy. You can just like spend an afternoon and get 50 followers.
Yes, but I'm not gonna do
You
that.
Massive forehead. You massive forehead.
You just use Tor and you make new Twitch accounts over and over again and different IP
Why are
addresses.
you
And
discussing this on a Twitch stream?
Yeah.
Cause I'm
I
not
do not
gonna
condone
do
this.
it. I'm
I
not
don't
that kind of
condone
person, so I'm not gonna
I
do
don't
it.
condone it. I did that with
What do you
Mega.nz
mean don't condone
accounts.
it? You just suggested it to him.
I would just open up Tor to make Mega accounts over and over again to store 50 gigs worth of stuff repeatedly.
Yeah. Well, if one of you wants to post on Reddit, that would be helpful. Cause,
Yeah, I can take a look.
I'm not gonna do that right now. Not for
Ours
this
is
I
one.
don't
competitive
use Reddit.
Overwatch. I do all the time.
Not for this.
That's not true. I spend so much fucking time on Reddit.
Yo, I am slightly addicted. Competitive Overwatch. I have the competitive Overwatch subreddit bookmarked. That's how.
Yeah.
I'm addicted to
Oh,
Reddit.
yes.
I wasn't
Over
gonna
and
post it on there for this stream, but I was gonna do it on Saturday or something. Cause I'm gonna do like a free. I'm gonna start doing a free weekly VOD review thing, and I think I'm doing it on Saturday evening or something. So
Not only are we paying our paid coach in money, but we're also paying him in advertising.
yeah, why not?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, if you guys could just promote my stream on Reddit real quick.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to.
But you'd be a great person and not an asshole. Just kidding. We love you, Max.
Yeah, but like if you guys need help with stuff like other than coaching, like I'm always here to listen.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
apologize.
Like,
Yo,
Can you give me a
only
good
at
cake
$10
recipe?
an hour to listen to your problems.
well, no, if you guys
Fire
like,
Blue became rank 1.
if you guys need like Discord servers or help like writing an LFT post or some shit like that, like I can always help with that shit. I have no problem doing that stuff.
Is everyone in the stream?
Yo, Fire Blue reached number 1.
Stream link.
Super GG.
Just click on Max Mira and go watch.
Yeah, make sure to
Click on his Discord
share
profile.
it on all your Discord servers that you're a
Put
part of.
open it on multiple tabs.
So review botting. Oh my god, you did.
Oh my god.
Oh wait, let me open it up in Firefox real fast, so that way it's like different browsers, so that maybe it'll count it.
I don't think it will, but okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing no change.
Also gotta mute a stream.
No, it takes a while for the viewer count to update. Oh, Overwatch League is live. What are we doing watching this?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't watch the match.
Jokes on you, I actually have it open on a second monitor. I don't. I wouldn't
Jokes
do
on
that.
you. I watch from Max because I want to see myself play.
Ah, yes.
Nice.
Alright, is everyone here?
Is everyone watching?
I'm gonna assume yes. Okay, so I want to start on Lijiang because I want to talk about like engagement, disengagements, rotations, like some baits and fakes and sort of stuff. And we can do that really well on Lijiang. It's quite a good map for it. So I know you guys don't like do the best on this map, but there's like some rotations and stuff that we can talk about when I did a quick look over. So let's get this started.
I thought you were something. I thought I heard something totally different.
SB isn't plugged in.
Did you hit play?
Yeah, I did.
Oh,
There's
I
like a
won't
slight
be able-
delay.
Oh, I won't be able to hear the stream because I have to like mute it so I don't hear myself on it and everyone else.
Do you want me to like? How could I do this?
It's just gonna be a delay.
Well, I mean, if he wants, he could just mute all of us in Discord.
Just hear you on this stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you guys wouldn't be able to like. Yeah,
Ask questions and stuff.
it'd be hard for you guys to ask questions.
Well, I mean, fuck us, am I right? Share a screen.
I mean, do it like literally.
All right.
no,
Well,
no.
I will.
I mean,
I'm
just
probably
keep it
one.
muted for now. You can hear
Yeah.
the comms, and you can just basically say what we said while we have all the stream muted.
That's fair, I guess.
We
If
could
you guys
just use
say
QGG
something,
next time or something.
never.
Never?
Next time, set up a virtual audio cable. So
Yeah,
There you go.
I was thinking about that earlier.
I
So,
can give you a Chrome extension. Okay, never mind.
so, do you guys remember how you use bubbles here? Like, have you used bubbles yet? Because I can't really see you guys from here. I know-
Oh,
Jimmy.
So Deviceal, would you like to explain what happened for like this entire point?
No friendly?
yeah, okay. So first map here, I barely ever pressed my E button, and I botted out on my bubbles, and I said that in the comms.
yeah. I would say.
Okay, yeah, I
Like after the first fight, he literally says, "I just need bubble." I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
like, I'm not gonna lie to you, Chief.
So if they use bubble this early, that means we can disengage. So we just like back up a little bit because they're gonna try to push into us, right? So back up, bubbles up, and then we push back into them with bubble advantage, right? But you guys have to make sure you create that separation, right? Because he's not within swinging distance, so they're gonna have to take up time to try to push into you guys. Now, build, you don't have to amp speed out, but just stay on the speed aura so we can create that distance between their Reinhardt and our Reinhardt. And then once bubble's about to wear out or it's gone, then we re-engage with our own bubbles. So then we have bubble advantage, right? We have a resource advantage overall. So that's something I want you guys to look at. Like, when can we disengage to get an advantage in like positioning or a resource war or something like that. So that will kind of be more of a recurring theme. Right. So we back up here. It's kind of slow, and we end up losing like a lot of health. And they didn't lose a lot, right? So we're basically stabilizing down here, but our rotation should just be like on to point now, right? Don't try to push back up into here, because you guys will just get stuffed in this doorway, and they can use cover really well. And provide damage from like Zarya can play on this wall, put damage in. Brig is probably gonna play close to this wall. You know, Zen's gonna play back here or back here by the mini. So you guys, it's gonna be hard to pressure him. But if you rotate back down towards point, then you're taking point control, and you're making it, you're not stuffing yourself in a smaller choke, right? So this is a rotation that we can think about and we can call. So if they start getting control of the high ground here, then we can just rotate to point. If they're playing really aggressive up here, right, on like the first fight or something, then we can rotate back up here and take high ground from them, or the slight high ground on the stairs. So don't feel too pressured, especially control map before the point unlocks. So like, what's the word? Commit too heavily to one side or the other. Like it's very easy to rotate through both sides on Lijiang control. So don't commit yourself just to one side, right? But people who should be like trying to call these rotations, build unstoppable main people, because you know, main tank, and then build, you'll be calling like the rotations for speed and stuff because you control a lot of the engagements. So those are the two main people who can be calling rotations like this. But if someone else can do it, that's fine. I don't remember what you guys have in like your comm structure, but I think it's the unstoppable build.
It's very rudimentary right now, so it was just for tryout space, so we can get more in depth now.
Right. So, but yeah, that's definitely. Oh, I hit 11. I hit 11 viewers. Okay.
It was 12 actually.
Was it? Oh, new record.
We in there, boys.
Yeah, but that's something you guys can like look at and like try to add. And I would like you guys to like think about rotations and stuff a little bit more, especially on like Koth maps. They're very important, and you can, if you can out-rotate someone, you can catch them out of position. Or you can catch like a Zen out of position or something, make it easy kill, right? So stabilize. I think we end up, they drop back down here, so we take up here, that's good. So we didn't track Shatter, which is fine, because he got.
It caught me off so guard so much.
Yeah.
On that pet fight. It was like, whoa, you have Shatter? Wait a minute.
Yeah. So let's look at this again. So. Look at the bubble usage. So there's personal. They use projected. So
we use personal, I think.
Yeah, we use personal, they use projected. So we're basically even in bubbles, right? SB, make sure you're proccing Inspire, just a little thing. I didn't notice if you did it, but make sure it's doing that.
I think I saw a really cool proc before they went up through the stairs.
This was the one my mic wasn't working, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the scrim was the one where Mike was walking.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's just important that we get Inspire off before we engage like this, right?
I have been doing that more, because I didn't know you could use it that much.
Can we get Zarya? No, we can't. Everyone's dead. Everyone's dead. Right,
Yeah.
okay, they as much as possible.
Yeah.
Berg abuse was, am I right?
That's why SPCMD thinking originally.
Omega lol.
Lowercase.
Okay, let's talk about engagements a little bit here. So, you guys have a tendency to kind of stand in this choke a lot. Throughout this map, you kind of stand here and just do whatever. Just getting like a poke battle, which is fine in certain situations, but not this one, right? So if you're going to be sitting in a poke battle and goats, it needs to be for a pretty specific reason. Like you think you can build grab before them, or you think you can build trance and then you can go aggressive with trance or something, right? There has to be like a specific plan to why you're getting in a poke battle. And especially if you guys are on the attacking side, on Koth and just in general, typically you don't want to get in as many drawn out battles, right? Because in this situation, right, so we have to go through a tiny choke. Their Zarya has probably at least 70 charge, so she's a charge advantage and is going to do a fuck ton of damage, unlike Faisal, who died and is going to be at 0, right? So she can use her bubbles more defensively, or like to sustain or push or whatever, right? Whereas Faisal is going to have to be more careful about how he uses bubbles, like to try and get charge, but also to keep people alive. So trying to get in like a drawn out fight with a defensive team who has
Resource advantage.
well, not resource advantage, but just because when I say resources, I mean things like armor pack, shield
cooldowns
bash,
and-
like cooldowns, right?
Yeah.
But just they have like a damage advantage. Let's just call it that, right? So sitting in like a choke like this is not gonna be better
We
for you
can't
guys.
be as greedy as them.
Yeah, yeah. So that means we have to be more decisive on our engagements, right? So one of the things, actually, let me just watch how you guys engage.
We're gonna rally trance and diva bomb soon.
No one calls out that they use armor pack. That's also important. I don't know if you guys saw it, but we really should try to call out resources like that.
Alright, we can have speed in.
Okay, so we use rally first. Let's talk about why we rally engage. Okay, so an engagement with rally is fine. It's quite good. But to get the most out of it, you need to be close to your to the enemy, right? So I would like for you guys to like start to push through and like be going through the doorway as you rally or something. It's not like they have a melee that's gonna cut you off, right? You're just going into them, right? So I'd like to see rally a little bit either either use it as we're going through, or have us like, it should just be as we're going through the choke basically, or as we're like starting to engage or whatever. We don't want to use it like when we're outside the choke, because that gives them more of a chance to either rally back, or it can mean that they can disengage. They're not going to disengage in this situation because they have positional advantage, right? Because we're have to come to this tiny choke. So just be more decisive on our engagements. Rally engage is fine. Build, make sure you're not amping speed when we rally, unless you see someone who's like very specifically out of position or something. So let me give you an example of that. So if the Zarya is like sitting in this corner, has no bubble, and you guys know she's there, and you like rally onto her and like try to, and you amp onto her or something, like that's fine. But generally try to save amp, because one of the reasons that people rally engage is to force out resources or to force out ults, right? So if they have trance and you guys have rally, you guys can rally in, and you're either going to win the resource war because you're going to force out armor pack bubbles, amp sooner because you have rally going, or they're going to try to trance to counteract that, right? The other option would be them like speeding away, but then you still have amp to make that decision, right? To chase if you want to.
Basically,
But
we're gonna same amount of value, but less resources committed.
yeah. But if they try to re-engage with like trance or something, then you want to have amp to be able to disengage again, right? And then try to re-engage once trance is close to end or is ending, right? That way you forced trance for just rally. That makes sense? And like why you still need amp for that?
That makes sense to me.
Yeah. So
keep your resources for when you need them.
Yeah. So that's one of the ways that people can engage, especially like on a map like Lijiang. That's one of the ways you can engage through chokes. Another is a double bubble. So not the gum. XD.
Double bubble.
So you push through choke, and you like play aggressive on the Rein, and you double bubble in on him. Again, if they try to disengage, then you can try to speed like amp to like continue that aggression, because if they speed away, then they're probably going to push back into you with a bubble or two of their own, right? And take back the space that you guys just took.
So we want to force them to use bubble defensively in that case.
Yeah. Rather than aggressively, yeah. So one of the more common ways to get through chokes is just to double bubble through and put pressure on from there, which gives you a little bit of tankiness to push through chokes like this, and then you can get into like the open ground that are going to be better for you. So rally engages, double bubbles. You can just straight up amp through build, but that means they can just like So if you guys amp through, one of the proper responses is just going to be to back up slightly without using amp. So say this is Ryan, right? This is Ryan. Yeah, this is Ryan. That's terrible. Hold up. This is Ryan, right? And you guys are coming in through here, and you guys use speed. They're probably you guys use amp rather. Sorry, I just need to be clear about that amp. And you guys use amp to get onto the Rhine. The Rusio is just going to be on speed but not amp, and they're going to back up slightly, and then they're going to bubble the Rhine when he gets here, and they're going to re-engage after amp is up, right? So that way they're still getting value out of this bubble, this defensive bubble, and they're able to re-engage onto you guys, and you guys can't get out, where it's harder for you to get out because they have amp, right? So that's kind of like what I just said is the proper response to someone who's just like straight amping onto you. And that's more why I don't like it and why rally engaging and double bubble engage is better in my opinion. Cool.
I'm assuming amp speed though is probably a little bit better if they're down a player or two.
Yes.
So you don't even have to commit like an ult or something like that.
Yeah. So if you have a player advantage, then it's totally different, and you can use resources more liberally and less methodically. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Murder them with this. Let's go. No friendly?
Okay. So 1, 2. So we rally outside the doors, which gives them time to be like, okay, shit, they're rallying. We're gonna rally back. And now they can play accordingly. Let's see. I want to see how you guys position on this. So Visel, shoot Rhine. You guys can't just go past the Rhine and shoot Zarya, which I think Visel's doing. He's either that or on D.Va, or maybe Zen, but I don't know where the Zen is right now.
He's like right there. You see his orbs like right near the D.Va gun.
Maybe, but Visel, you're not gonna be able to do that, right? Because you're low charge. Visel's here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just want to double check.
Should their Reinhardt be dead here if we did things perfectly? Be like
no, because
they use armor pack and bubble on him.
Yeah, they use armor pack. They have rally up. They use bubble, right? I think.
Right.
Yeah. And plus Visel isn't like a lot of charge right now. It doesn't have high charge, so that's also a problem, right? So that's a lot of your damage gone. And I don't even think Discord was on Rhine when he was bashed.
We can go back and look.
Yeah, but it was so close. It doesn't. It's not even like.
Let's go.
Yeah, and it wasn't on him initially, but that's fine. Then you got bubbled right away.
Harmony's on him.
Yeah.
No friendly?
But yeah. Then they kind of build. Okay. So also something else that they're kind of doing is this idea of like a concave, right? So they have damage coming in from this angle. They have damage coming in from this angle, and then your Ryan's here. Ryan's here, and he's like shielding this one, but he's getting shot from this other angle, right? And if they're strong enough, like if it's like a Rhine Brig or something, right, on this side, then and Brig's rallying, they're gonna be alive, like they're gonna be hard to kill, right? So that's when focus fire comes into effect, and it's like really important that you're focusing down the right targets and stuff. But like the idea of a concave, and it's not like super important or anything, but just like putting in damage from multiple angles so Ryan doesn't get the full effectiveness of his shield. And it's kind of like the idea behind triple and quad as well.
Off angles.
Yeah, off angles. Off angles, wide angles, all that shit.
They're pushed way up. Alright. That's a quick.
Yeah, I haven't pressed E the whole game, I'm not gonna lie to you.
There it is. Visel just admitted that he didn't press E yet.
I can't hear it,
I was
so
thinking,
they're gonna have
burned through those bubbles.
Actually, I'm gonna listen to the stream and deafen Discord. That might actually work better, and then I'll undeafen when I want to say something.
Yeah.
We've already discussed the idea of making plans before first contact.
Yeah. So, also, something that I want to talk about like later on, the importance of scouting, right? So if we think that they have Grav, or we think that they have Shatter, then we should be watching out for boops or bashes, and also flank, like if Zarya or Rein is gonna flank, right? So we have to be careful about that. And like look how they're kind of positioned here, right? So they got Rein over here, they got Zarya in this corner, D.Va is over here, and either Zen is like in this hallway or he's like shooting through this hallway, one of the two. So as soon as you guys walk into here, this is like a fucking kill box. You guys are gonna die instantly, right? Especially since they have ult advantage, right? So you guys need to be aware of this. If you're tracking ults properly, like you should know that they have Grab and Shatter. And you need to scout people when they do this shit, especially on this map. Like teams will hide like in this corner or they'll hide up the stairs. You know, they do cheeky shit, right? So it's important when tracking ults to try to scout where the enemy might be playing, right? So scouting's information that can help you plan better and react better, right? And I'll get into scouting more later on other maps.
We have beat. They're gonna have Grab bomb.
Like they even got impatient here. We were kind of like going in and out of this choke like Unstoppable you were, and we weren't actually committing to anything. So it's also like we were in and out, so we should see the Zarya if she's hiding there. But also she just got like impatient and decided to throw it out or something. Maybe she saw DM go down or something, but there's no way that she had to throw it. There's no reason that she had to throw it out at the second, right? And then that's wipe.
Okay, there's the Grab bomb.
That's my bad. I should have called for beat. We're gonna have a good buff for ourselves.
It's all good. We can use it to engage now, although they're gonna have Shatter, so I don't know.
I need bubble power.
Bubble power. Alright, we can either engage with beat or save it for Shatter.
Save for Shatter. Brian's probably just gonna play.
Okay, well he has Shatter. They're gonna have beat as well. Someone hit me. Alright, counter beating. Let's go.
So that beat was a bit excessive, right? We already had the advantage in Rein. And I don't think we were down health advantage. I think we were fine.
Well, we also had all of our damage.
Speeding, speeding.
Still.
Zed's behind us.
Yep.
They didn't.
No, beat was excessive.
They're dead.
They have no projector, by the way.
I can chase her. Oh no, she's gone. Holy cow.
I think the rally was
Shatter to engage there. They use beat.
Misclick, I think.
What? What was? Sorry.
We use rally.
Oh. Yeah, I wasn't gonna mention that, but yeah. I was gonna say, so Visel, when you're, make sure that you're practicing, so right click for farming, wait, which one? Yeah. Right click for farming Grav, and then left click to melt people or put pressure on them. And again, I can talk more about that a bit later. But just something that I remembered I wanted to mention.
Rally?
I actually think the other side actually might be better to defend on, because it has the whole space shuttle, so it provides more cover than the rover.
Really?
Maybe. I don't know. It's just something that I thought about. Yeah. It's like Busan.
That's a good thought.
It's like Busan. Busan is not, downtown is not even. It is not.
Oh, yeah. It really should though.
Alright.
I don't like that. It's not.
Alright, so they don't have any support ults then. They're probably halfway.
Okay, so this is when scouting becomes more important, right? We get the pick, which is great.
They're gonna have their Grab bomb again soon though. That's their next combo.
So I don't hear anyone say, so this call it is space, by the way. Up here is space.
Yeah.
So I don't hear anyone say that they're going space, and stop you kind of just like roam up here anyway. Because I'm assuming you kind of just see them kind of rotate up here. But someone needs to be
like D.Va.
So
Preferably.
D.Va, okay, so either, let me just go back a second.
A bomb again soon though. That's
So Diva should either be playing on these stairs, and Unstoppable, I would rather have you play like here or here. Honestly, not on that left side.
Okay.
Because our supports are gonna be in this area or back in this hallway, right? So
So don't even try and hold space effectively.
well, we'll just get to that, but don't
Okay.
but just make sure you're not holding on those left side stairs,
Gotcha.
right? So I'd rather have Diva there to like check it.
Mhm.
Also, if you guys think they're doing this, you guys can push out and you guys can look at them, right? Right? You guys can see that they're going up there, right? So Diva can go check up here if she needs, or in the case that you guys just did,
so next combo.
everyone rotates up, and then Jay can be here and watch them to make sure they actually go up there. And if they push through space, then he just boosters back up here and he's back in the fight. Slight resource advantage, but booster's not the biggest deal, right? It's not like it's armor pack or amp or anything.
It's also it's a very short cooldown.
Yeah. So in this situation, just have Jay like look main to make sure that they don't fake you guys, which is what they do.
Clear, boss.
This is a fake and a bait.
This is the old.
Wait,
good
no
old-
fake. It's a fake. Baits are
It's a debate. It's a debate.
no baits are different. But it's a fake. If I have my terminology correctly, but there is a difference.
I gotcha.
Yeah, so it's a fake, meaning that it's a rotational fake. So you guys then end up rotating up here, and they just they scout that you guys go up there, I'm assuming, and then they just rotate back down main.
If they went main, should we speed back to point?
If they go main, like, oh, while you guys are up here, while you guys are in
Should we
space.
just go
say
fully
they
commit
beat
server
us
room.
to it, and they're heading back to point. Should we go through that little mid area, like up?
We go through server room. We go through server room. Just go back to point.
So if you guys realize it soon enough, then just rotate back to this door and just hold, right? Because worst case, like, you should be able, if you're scouting properly, Ryan should be able to like at least be here, right?
Yeah.
And then everyone else can be like behind him over here, or you can have Diva or Zarya over on this side. But that's if you're like scouting it. If it's a late scout and it's a late rotation from you guys, yeah, just fucking go back to point. Like, don't try to engage, right? Because then you're putting yourself through this tiny choke, alright? And then they have positional advantage here, right? Like, sure, you guys have a little bit of a height advantage, but it's not anything like substantial, right?
Get ready to eat.
But that was a pretty good grav, 6-man grav.
We don't need the bomb here.
Do they use projectiles? They use auto bubbles.
Like they use, we know that they both used both support ults last fight. We could have just grabbed and wiped them.
Yeah, so if you guys call that they don't have support ults, then you probably don't need to bomb. You can probably do without it, right? No one died until like after he threw it and after it was like already like behind them or something. So it's not a problem, it's just like a little optimization thing. Try not to use bomb if you know you can win off grav or you think you can win off grav, right? Because then you can use grav. Yeah. Then you can use bomb for other plays, other purposes, right? So if for some reason they actually do have like a support alt and they live through it, right? You guys just back to point. Yeah, you guys can back up. You guys can like disengage like back to point, then throw bomb back over top of them, and then you can sandwich them or something like that, right? Lots of little plays that you can make with Diva Bomb, even if you don't use it with Grav.
It's big, it's big. We couldn't get her out of mech. Alright, Grav bomb's coming up hot.
Alright, we need to try and safer bubbles. So that way you can bubble me when they try to hit me.
And plus a shatter somewhat soon.
Break.
Watch out for it. Their Ryan's gonna have shatter, their Ryan's gonna have shatter.
Kill the Ryan.
And plus a shatter somewhat soon.
I think Lucio yoinked bubble, if I remember correctly. Like he was aiming for, Mice was aiming for me when I charged.
Maybe.
Make sure I don't get cucked, but I think
Just
Lucio gets
You
Biggest
should
yoink.
you should just charge this break right away.
Oh, just charge her.
Just charge her. She's got rally up, right?
Just stop
They've
her
already
from
used
getting
both bubbles, right?
Mm.
Like there's no reason for you not to just
Your
pin her.
Ryan's also
Just,
on the ground, so she can't.
Right.
He can't do anything about
Yep.
it either.
yeah, they can't. They literally can't do anything other than boop you, which Elysiu does,
Yeah.
and you still kill her,
Okay.
right? But both bubbles are used. There's no bash. There's no counter pin. Just
We should have
just fucking pin her right away. Get that kill out of the way, right? Quick, like. Especially since she's not like lying on top of anyone else, so you're not getting like a lot of cleave damage, right? So just get the easy pick. Just get the easy 5v6, right?
Okay. I wanted to go for that initial swing just to make sure that she died to charge, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
'Cause there are times
trust
when Brick has enough armor. But that
trust your team. You have to trust your team.
Yeah, Lucio does get bubble instead.
Yeah. So,
Biggest yoink NA.
right? So because you didn't pin her just right away, Ryan got up, is able to counter charge you. Briggs still dies, but now you're laying in the middle of their entire team and all of their line of sights with Discord on you,
I'm sure
and
I'll be fine.
we don't have like
We don't have bubble.
we don't have
I'm
bubble,
sure I'll be
we
fine.
don't have beat, we don't have rally, right? So
Remember Max, if a main tank dies, it's always the team's fault.
yeah, that was me. I mean, I don't care about that.
No, I'm memeing. I know. I'm memeing. If I die, guys, no matter how hard I feed, it's always your fault. Remember that.
Just do 50% of the time.
Yeah. So because you didn't charge big right away, like you just die here, right? And as soon as he dies, and we don't commit trance to it, we've traded back up. Like we should be trying to disengage 2 point, right? That way we have time to build beat. The time for Ryan to get back is going to be quicker than Brig, unless we take this fight here, right? Because obviously spawn's closer, right? But if we take this back to point, we'll have time to build beat. Ryan will be back quicker, and we'll be kind of evening the playing field out. Plus, they've used beat, which means this should be like an immediate disengage, right? Unless we're committing trance to either save Unstoppable, or we're committing trance now and we're trying to win this fight here and now, right? Which basically would mean that we'd have to like layer beat on after it to probably even win. So I don't like the scenario where we stay and try to fight this with trance. If we use trance to try to save Unstoppable, that's a different story. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that, because if you have to win, you have to win.
I mean, considering they have 99%, we do have to win, so.
Yeah, right. But
With
I
that
don't
into
like.
account, you probably would have to trance there.
Yeah, so either trance. So the two scenarios that I like the best are trance to keep Unstoppable alive, or just fucking disengage to point. Try to disengage with point. Well, even like you're already dead, right? So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as Unstoppable dies here, I'd rather you guys disengage, especially as soon as you hear the beat out.
I think they grab us when we're trying to disengage.
Yeah.
I just got beat.
Right.
How do you not get caught in that build? Magic.
I'm slippery.
Okay. Also, I do not like this beat build. I would rather. Okay, so we know that they've just used Grav Bomb. We know that they don't have rally. We know they don't have beat. So that's 4 outs out of the way. The other two, it's hectic. I don't assume that you're tracking them, right? So there's 2 potential unknown variables.
I'm almost back already.
Yeah, so Unstoppable's almost back. You're still down 2.
I was just concerned that people would die
to the bomb.
Because they were chasing us, and they had 99%. So I was like, if we lose one person, we like guaranteed lose here.
Yeah, but it's okay. So they have what, 3 people here? That's 3, not 4, huh? Or is it 4?
Lucio,
yeah, they were stacked up on.
Then their Brig gets there, then their Ryan gets there.
Yeah, they were stacked up. I just couldn't see if they were 4 or 3. So rather disengage, right? So again, talking about disengaging. Disengage. Play here. wait for Unstoppable to get here, right? Then it's a 4v4, then you re-engage with beat.
You just try to run them over.
Yeah, so run at them, and then people start to get low, then you beat for sustain, you try to force them back to their corner, then you're in a neutral fight.
And hopefully by then Visel and SP are back.
SP are back.
SP can get back real quick though, because he does have rally.
Yeah, but he doesn't want to use it to try to get back.
Oh yeah, of course.
So if you have beat here, it means we can hold on to the point longer. Also, if you guys have to give up the point, that is fine. Just make sure that someone's able to touch, because overtime's going to trigger as soon as it flips, right? So as long as you guys are able to touch after that, after it flips, it's fine, right? I would rather, like, it's more important for you guys to have a decent fight than to keep your percentage, right? If you guys take a 4v3 with less ults to keep your percentage, you have less a chance of winning the fight. But if you have more ults and you take a 4v4 and you give them point, sure, you guys don't get more percentage, but you have a higher chance to win that fight, right? So disengaging again, we're focusing a lot on disengaging and engaging. Like if you guys have questions or like specific stuff you want to like bring up, talk about, just let me know.
I'm just taking notes.
Alright, no worries.
Yeah.
Here engage. Ryan's on the left. Happy heals. Speeding.
As soon as I notice their Ryan's there, I'm like, nope.
Right. Yeah. So now we have. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like, so even if the Ryan's like, I thought that I could like hold the space because they like, our Zarya and Ryan will kind of equal out. Like, their Zarya's there, but their Ryan's not, and our Ryan is here, and our Zarya's not. So I thought it would be relatively equal because we can poke safely while they do a little more damage. Is it so? Should I have like gotten the hell out of there a lot sooner? Like you said.
Like, hold on, let me go back for you.
Because like we have both teams have D.Va, Lucio, Zen. Like it's effectively a mirror for a little bit until their Brig and Ryan get back.
Okay, yeah, but their Zarya is also hard charge. So now all 6 of them are here, right? And again, yeah, look at their angles they're taking, right? They got one angle here, they got one here. They got Zen shooting this way. They got D.Va pressuring this way. Okay. So as long as they're focusing one target, then they're fine. I mean, if their D.Va shooting your D.Va, your Ryan, and their Ryan and Zarya shooting you, and their Zen's trying to like take a 1v1 with Mu or something, it's not as big a deal. But that just means they're playing it improperly. And don't bet on the enemy team playing poorly. Never playing around that. It's just shitty. So they're all back, right? Also, their Zarya is in range of you, and she has high charge, and you don't have Zarya back yet, and you're also missing your Brig. So this would be the situation where I'm just like, disengage, back off to here, get your full team, let them flip it if they need to, and then rally engage into them, right? Because they're gonna have trance, and they're gonna have shatter, which 2 unknown things, and if we had played this optimally, we would have beat, but not Build's fault. Like he's like it's not optimal, but it's a concern. If someone gets picked off by that bomb, it basically means you guys lose, or it makes it 10 times harder, right? So no fault on him. But the optimal play would just be like, okay, all 6 of them are here, disengage, we're all getting back. Also, when you're coming back from spawn, give a time that you're gonna be. So if Zen's coming back, the Zen should be like, okay, I'll be there in 3 seconds or 5 seconds or whatever it is, right? To kind of give your team a rough idea of when you'll be back and when you can help that fight.
Oh yeah, that's something I tried to get better at, estimating my move arrival, because
ETA.
If you've played the game long enough, you can generally
get
a good idea.
And things happen.
It'll take me like 7 seconds from spawn to get an LOS of the point. Right.
And things happen so fast. Like, mid-fight, like a couple seconds is an eternity. But like a couple seconds when you're like rotating at poking stage is nothing, right? So.
Ryan's on the left. Happy heals.
So Jay, this is when you should be you should be backing off with the rest of the team. Like, let them have the point. Okay.
Dude, that was 100% my fault. I totally realized we were backing up, and I got low, so I just chucked bomb to get mech quick.
Yeah, I have no problem with like you like trying to use bomb here and like having to get like you have to get mech back. Like that's understandable. But I would rather you guys just disengage here. And part of that is on Unstoppable and Build or whoever. Just say like back. Just say stack on me. Lots of things you can say, right? Kite is another one. People say kite or back usually. Yeah.
In other words, avoid combat.
Yeah.
Kite. Yeah. I wanna do more kites. I could use that.
Yeah.
On point.
The SB also SB and Build kept going forward when I think I called back.
Yeah, well, you have to be more decisive with it. Be like back, back, back.
Yeah,
You have to
more
say it a couple
demanding.
times. Be demanding. And Build, like if you're calling like kiting, like it is a lot of it is on you because you're controlling the engagements and disengagement with the speed, right? So, and you can see kind of what's going on where people are positioned generally. So, I personally I like when Lucio's call in goats. Whether we're engaging, whether they're backing, whether we're kiting, whatever, right? And if they try to like rally engage into us, we can say kite, or if they try to like beat aggressively, then we just like, okay, kite back, right? Alright, and that's just stall and people are dead and all that shit.
Rush and run me over.
Give a bomb. Nice.
This could have definitely been a W.
Yeah, this is a 4K team, by the way. Just to let y'all know.
Well,
I mean, it was tough, but we definitely could have.
that's what I live for.
Yeah.
I mean, well, looking back on VODs, it's always like, oh shit, I did this one little thing so dumb. Like, and I'll,
Hindsight is 2020.
yeah, and I will point out like a lot of like little shit that you guys could have done better or can do better. Like, I once turned a 7-minute clip from a like gold team into like an hour-and-a-half long session. So.
Look how BS Lucio's passive all charges.
Yeah. Discrimination.
I know, right? Against the blacks.
Man, fucking A.
Need some more equality up in here.
No, build. It's historically
it is.
authentic as blacks were slower to get their rights than whites.
What the fuck? No, we're not talking about this.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you just sit there and do no damage, Lucio will get his last.
Yeah.
Out of all the ults. Tracer will get hers first.
Try to get a feel where we play.
I think their Lucio takes bubble here, and their Ryan just falls over the moment he tries to go to swing.
SP Proc Inspire, good. Harmony is on Ryan, good.
Big proc.
Discord's on there, Ryan, cool.
You did it, dude.
Well, those guys
Did it.
We used projected pretty early,
We
so
need to be greedier with our projected.
See their Lucio stole their yoinked their bubble there like I
Yeah.
did.
And the Ryan just goes to swing and falls.
So now the opposite happens.
yeah. So
From what happened to us.
So
like, 2
first of
minutes
all,
earlier.
our bubble, we didn't really get any value out of our bubble. I would also doubt that Visor even got like full charge out of it. So either Unstoppable communicate bubbles or Visor, you need to be a little more careful on bubbles at the beginning of the fight, like neutral fights. Hold up, gotta plug my headphones in. Alright.
The IO sucks like article, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Like, it said that it should be Zarya's job.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
like she can squeeze it a little bit more.
To call bubbles.
Yeah, like she can like it's her like it says that, but it's like again that's up to a team.
Yeah, it's a personal or a team thing. It's not. That's not a universal thing, right? It's what works for your team. So if Faisal is comfortable doing that and wants to do that, that's cool too. Or if you guys can kind of like ping pong it a little bit, like Faisal, you can say like, okay, I'm bubbling you for charge, and then like Unstoppable, if you want to play aggressive on something, be like, okay, Faisal, bubble me.
Take some spam kind of thing.
Yeah, so just communicate amongst yourselves. Like, it doesn't have to be one person all the time. You guys kind of like flip flop. It's all cool. But a bit of an early bubble, but it's fine because they use bubble, and they've also used armor pack. If you noticed.
Oh no, poor Ryan.
So they used both their bubbles and armor pack, so the three of the biggest resources, three of the four biggest resources.
Looks
So
like they used amp too. They're like moving much faster than us.
they might have.
So then they just blew their low. They dropped their posture right there.
Yeah, so they used everything way too early.
And then Ryan just dies for it.
Oh, thanks, Build.
Yeah.
Well, the Ryan also just didn't hold shield the whole time.
Yeah, so.
Well, I think he thought he was gonna get bubble, and then he just fell over.
Yeah, so you guys need to be calling their resources. Like, if you see bubbles, you call. I think you called some of the bubbles. I don't remember if you called both of them. But also armor pack is big, and also things like bash or amp, right? Also big things. So if they go ahead.
What would you say would be like the biggest cooldown, like the most important cooldown to like really note that there's that they don't have what they used?
In a neutral fight like this?
Yeah.
Armor pack. Armor pack.
Definitely Harmony Orb.
I think armor pack. Because it's your main source of burst heal, right?
What about an amp too, probably?
Amp is pretty big, but usually teams are better about amps.
Yeah. And I'm assuming once like Zarya's are on high charge, bubble becomes so much more important as well.
Yeah, but also I don't think through Lucio. If you amp out a spawn, you probably don't get amp until you guys are like in a fight here anyway. So
yeah, it's about 6 seconds when you start engaging on amp.
Yeah, so it's really hard to use it too early and like neutral fights like this on Koth. Cool. So yeah, if they used their resources properly and pushed into you guys, right, and they use like all of that at the same time, then you just kite back, right, and then you re-engage once they've like finished using their bubbles, and you re-engage with like amp or something, right, and you have resource advantage, and you just fucking roll them over.
Unfortunately, Ryan does it for us.
Yeah, their run is just I don't know. They used everything way too early, and that's really bad on their part. You guys should have plugged me. You guys should have plugged me. I just saying.
Who's beating?
No, you're ours. And ours alone. Except for the other team.
I'm very discreet. I don't discuss strats in between teams.
No, we want your time. We want you as much time for us. I'm just kidding.
Look, this Ryan tries to yoink.
I'm just like, nah.
Nah, man.
Okay. Who is capping right now? Who's capping, guys?
Zen. Or no, Lucio right now.
Yeah, I saw D.Va boosters forward, so I was like, well, D.Va doesn't have boosters, I gotta go cap.
So, it shouldn't be build, especially if you guys are playing this aggressive, looking for ult charge, which you should, for Visal. But Zen shouldn't be, and Lucio definitely shouldn't be. I would say D.Va is the main one. You can also send Brig back if you need to, depending, but I would say D.Va and Brig are the main two people, right? Especially if someone tries to contest. I think we'll see it later on. Yeah, it's this map, something weird happens. But especially if someone tries to contest them, Zen is gonna have a hard time surviving. So if it's a D.Va, then Zen's gonna get fucked, right? Or if it's a Lucio, it's gonna be hard to like. Lucio's gonna have a hard time killing another Lucio or a D.Va that's trying to like contest point, right? Whereas Brig and D.Va are both self-sufficient and can kill things. So they are better for capping points, pushing payloads, that sort of stuff.
Be careful because you don't have my speed. So.
You call it build, that's good. Like you tell them that you're not there and that you're capping, that's good.
Back off. I choose to back off.
Okay, I'm coming back. Alright, I'm with you.
Thank you for letting me know about that build.
Alright,
very nice.
I definitely didn't want you to get run over there.
Probably. It's like, wait a minute, we don't have
Can I get a POV here?
No self-hold?
Alright.
So you see Unstoppable's health there?
Yeah.
Just ripped.
Tanks don't do that much damage, forehead.
Okay, so a couple things here. So you guys should be scouting if they're coming through main or they're coming through top. Doesn't really matter that much in this fight, that's all cool. Rally is excessive, we already have one pick. and their Ryan is
It's on
super
their
low.
brig
It's
especially.
on their brig, so they have no burst healing. So we don't really need rally right here. We could have saved it for the next fight,
Just run them over.
and run them over. Or if we like push into them and like people start to get low, we need that extra stability, then that's fine. But you know, typically we don't want to use it here just after we've got a pick and we have resource, and then we have resource and health advantage, right? What else? What was the other thing? Oh, you've done this a couple times. Like you do this. I think this is one of the first times I noticed it. But like a couple other maps, you do it a lot. Like you kind of just bash in without just like targeting someone. So like go back so you can see it.
Ryan, discard is low. No self
Um,
Like, get closer.
Yeah, I use it more for mobility, right? There you use it. Like, did you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you do that a couple times throughout, like all the this whole scrim. So like really be careful when you're doing that, especially if you're rallying. You already have speed, plus you're with Lucio, right?
Yeah.
You will catch up to them. Don't be afraid. You can whack them with your mace, mace to the face. Right?
Mace to the face. Mace to the face. Just spam that over and over.
Yeah.
Nice. Ryan, discard is low.
So like Shatter was again. We talked like we've already won this fight basically, right? But we're slow on pushing in. I don't know why. Is there a reason why we're slow? So we get the pick,
Nice. Ryan, discard is low.
and we're slow to go in off the pick, and then we rally, and then we kind of sit on this choke a little bit more.
They don't have a stun to stop Unstoppable when he pushes forward now, so it's pretty big. On the Ryan,
Yeah, so I don't know why we were so hesitant. Even after we rallied, we were super hesitant to like push in here. We've won the first fight. It's not past 25%. None of them like farmed anyone, so they're not gonna have any ults. We won the first fight pretty convincingly, right? So you shouldn't have to be afraid of like getting shattered. The Ryan died instantly, right? They shouldn't have grab or anything, right? We're already up one pick, so they can't. It's hard for them to punish because they don't have break, right? And we have our own rally going up. And if worse comes to worse, we have trance. If they like if for some reason their Zarya has grab because he's just been farming someone, we have trance already, right? So we have, because we won the first fight pretty convincingly, and it wasn't like a long drawn out fight or anything, we have a pretty substantial alt economy lead, right? But we just used Shatter and Rally to win an already won fight, or a fight that should have already been won, right? Unless they committed ults, which again they shouldn't have.
Huge.
But
Yeah.
just like look at how hesitant we were going into that fight, like how hesitant we were to push through that corner and like punish them. Even when we had rally going up, we had a player advantage, we had ult advantage, like we had everything going for us, right? So plays and like engagements need to be more decisive, right?
I love that crack J shooting through though.
Yeah. So if there's one
I've never
thing,
seen that.
if there's one thing that I want you guys to work on for your next scrim, it'd be like decisiveness of engagements and disengagements. I'll give you guys like some more things, but that is a key thing that I want you guys to work on.
I'm not even sure if they have Shatter. We've been shutting him down so hard.
How would you work on that?
Let's also talk about a set play.
Just do it for him.
I mean, I can try and keep it in mind and call it.
Call what? Sorry.
I'll just
Call it.
work on
Oh.
I just
those
need more
engagement
demanding.
things.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. So
We both need to.
let's look at we scouted, we said that they were going high ground, Unstoppable did. Jay, typically you're gonna want to be up here as D.Va. That way you can scout easy if they're coming through or if it's just a fake or something. Plus if they come through main, you can just drop and you can still fight them. If they come left side, just drop and you're still in the fight, right? So it gives you lots of access to wherever you need to be.
I'm
right?
pretty sure I'm mid fight, not mid fight. Like I think like mid game is when I started doing that. Like I started
Yeah.
hopping up there and sitting there. I've been taking your whole high ground thing into like my mind a lot.
Yeah.
Like I've been doing that in rank too, where I just like sit on top of pillars and just sit above the enemy team and goats comps and just frag into the team.
Yeah. So that's good. There's like other steps that like we can talk about later and stuff, but like it's good that you're thinking about off angles and how to put in damage and stuff. But playing up here, very good, allows you access to all the ways and also gives you good scouting info to where they're gonna go. Also, let's talk about a little bit about a set play here. So D.Va's playing up here in this corner. They're coming high ground. We know they're coming high ground. D.Va isn't gonna peek or anything. We can have people can play here, like in this doorway. Zen will probably play in this doorway. Ryan can be there too, or like Ryan can be over here. You can have like Brig underneath of them if you really want to, or you can have Brig and Zarya over to the left or something like that. But just either in this doorway, or over to the left here in that kind of doorway. Those are generally like 3 spots you want to be. And then you have D.Va up top here. They push through, D.Va boosters through, pushes someone down, and you can try to like collapse on them. And that's like a hard engagement. So basically you're taking the fight in this area. It's not the best because it allows their Zen to like sit high ground and stuff. But if D.Va's able to push like Zen off, which unlikely but possible, it is like a play that you guys can make. But even if you're not like going for the hard engage here, as you push people off, D.Va can still sit up here, boosters off, over here, and you guys are in the green garden and you're able to go back to your normal rotations. But being up there, scouting information, a little bit of alt charge, disrupt their rotation, right? Very important. Keep getting some messages. Leave me alone. But what else do I want to talk about? Okay. But a more reactionary way to play that is again have D.Va up here and just have like everyone sit in the garden or in this doorway, and then if you see an opportunity you can engage onto them if you want to, but that still gives you the rotation to come back to point if you want to. I would recommend just kind of staying in here in this doorway in case Jay needs like a bubble or an armor pack or something as he's flying through. And it also gives time to build alt charge. So things like beat, grav, trance, all that good stuff, right? Yeah, but don't try to force engagements like in this area if you don't have to, right? If they drop and they all drop, just kite back to point. You have good positioning over here. You've given yourselves time to build up more of your alt charge. You've given yourself better positioning, and you're using up more time on the clock. Right? So it's good. You guys rotate back through points. This is all good.
Ryan discorded. Okay, they use rejected. Are we going Ryan?
They're calling bubbles. That's good. Unstoppable. Why are you swinging on this doorway?
I was just checking. Don't worry about it.
It's not your job to like check off angles, right? It's your job to shield the main source of damage coming in from like Zarya and Zen. Let D.Va look at this. Let Zarya look at it. Let Zen look at it. Right. Let them worry about that one. You need to be more worried about where their Ryan and Zarya, or not Zarya, where their Ryan's coming from mainly.
Okay.
Especially since we think that they have Shatter, or they're close to at least. It's important that you keep tracks on him. But basically what happens here is we let them in way too easily. Let them into point way too easily. So Unstoppable, you should just be sitting like on this wall and just like rotate slightly to either side, whichever they want to try to gum through, and pressure them. So SB, you're playing too far away, you need to be closer. Moo would be over there, that's fine. So Bubble, if you're playing Zen, you should be playing Zen Goats, right? Yeah. Either play on the opposite corner, or play.
You're cutting out a lot right now.
I am?
No, it's you, Unstoppable.
Yeah.
I'm
Max?
not cutting out.
What? I was cutting it.
No,
No.
you're fine.
Oh, okay. So
It's unstoppable.
okay. So I would rather have Zen play back here in this doorway. But if they're coming through this one, playing on this side is fine.
Hello?
Hey.
Alright, cool. So with me. My bad.
But playing in that middle gives you the choice to either rotate over to this side or over to this side, depending on whichever one you want. And it gives you a choice, and it puts you closer to a mini if you really need it, which you shouldn't because it's scouts, but whatever. Just that back point is better, in my opinion.
80 HP.
SP play closer, both back there. Build, I think you play more aggressive here anyway, which is good.
Remember, I don't have.
Yeah, I was also just
Always
playing more
aggressive.
defensive because like my mic was off, so I didn't want to overcommit.
No, but we let them through this choke way too easily. Like we should be like booping them, bashing them, just like fuck them up. Don't let them through. Whip shot to like push them back, push Ryan back as he's trying to engage. Like if they try to bubble through and then you get a boop or something, like that's huge, right? Right? And we've essentially traded boop for a bubble, which is great, right? Great efficiency.
I think
But
I was trying not to get shattered here.
probably, but we just let them in through this choke, like this choke way too easily.
Yeah, so I gotta stuff it. Speeding.
Like a turkey.
Literally. We're grab should send it to heal a lot of damage. But then they just wrecked it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Use bomb trance.
Alright. Wait, was there a diva bomb by them thrown in there?
Nope. They just burned it through trance. They used their own trance. But
I think we trans early.
yeah, we did because they shattered.
Oh. You didn't trust me to block it.
But there's still some trance going off when you guys got grabbed.
Alright, well fuck you. Just kidding.
Trusting you to block shatter.
Yeah, it's all whatever.
Grab a shatter and SP has a shield. Zari has bubbles. I have wall riding.
So
We don't need you.
okay, so we're all tracking and we're like kind of sort of planning, which is fine, but we're not calling like what path we're gonna take it. So I think SP ends up coming high ground on this one, and everyone else is like main.
Yeah.
This kind of.
Yeah, no, that was just my bad.
Well, we should be calling about like if they're playing close like this, take high ground. We should be taking high ground. This should be the rotation, right? Because if they play here, we just drop. We've cut them off. We can rotate to point, right? We can take advantage from them, or we just have like high ground advantage, right? And this should force them either to like play in this area, or like in here, or go back to point.
So I'm the only smart one.
Yes. But like, but
Big the cover of the enemy Brig's portrait there.
Big brain Brig. Big brain Brig. Big
yeah.
brain Brig. Big brain Brig. I can't say it.
Big brain Brig.
That's a tongue twister right there.
It is. Not something you say very often. But like this like planning and all tracking, that's cool, but we're not like path calling. And we should be like scouting, so like okay, they're playing close. That means we rotate up top. Right? If they're not playing close, then we can just like push through main and whatever. Like if they're holding point, then there's no point in us going like high ground because that's just waste of time. Right? Rather just go straight to point and fight them there. Right? So depending on where they are positioned, forces a reaction to where we want to rotate to, right? So scouting information informs planning, right? So scouting, important, right? Rotations are a reaction to scouting. Yeah.
Yes.
You could also do a flying brig bash into like a shatter, but you don't have shatter. Yeah, see?
Alright, here we go. Yeah, I was just...
Oh, we're about to do the part where...
Look at it, SB, just look at SB. Watch him. So I'm just over here, just gonna... just like slides around the corner, like, yeah, hey guys, how you doing?
Friends half.
Give me a break.
SB was in the thick of it and never died.
Yeah, I know, it's really...
Look at this.
And this is just like a massive clusterfuck, like...
Like he just assassinates their brig, and then he becomes Reinhardt.
Every team wasted quite a few ults.
And then their Reinhardt turbo feeds, and then they overlap support ults.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Just a fucking...
Okay, so what I'm gonna look at here is our engagement. So, we're coming down main, they've backed up. They should be on point. They should just be on point. There's no reason for them to be here. Like, it's not good for them.
Stall point.
Right? It's not good for them. There's no reason for them to be sitting here. It doesn't give them any, like, substantial advantage.
Considering there's so many alts, yeah.
Alright, here we go.
If they're gonna stuff you at the door, then they should stuff you at the door. Right? And they should play at the door.
Just commit to it.
Not playing this, like... See, now, look, now, this doorway is contested, so now the Rhinos, like, go back and over here.
Yep, and we could just walk right through if we want.
Yeah, you could, but,
We didn't do that.
So like in that scenario where we end up doing that and they start backing off, should we just go to point?
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. So we have beat up there.
Sorry, what was that? I got a DM from some random person.
Okay, so like play a little bit. Like for example, like the
Oh,
like you see how we're like their Reinhardt dies, their brig dies, right, and the enemy team is kind of backing off. Should we just like go to point and just start taking point? Or should we chase the remaining members?
Right here? No. You should,
no.
okay. Like later on.
Yeah, there.
Okay, we'll...
Like after the Ryan just feeds in the grab.
We'll get to that. I still want to talk about this engagement some more.
Alright, that was the BS shadows.
So... Beat engage.
We're very spread out.
Do we... Okay, so build... I'm assuming you amp here, yeah?
Probably.
I think you do.
I think he is right now.
But do they have
We're
amp?
moving way too fast. It feels like we're moving way too fast.
Yeah, you probably
Just
amped.
to be normal.
But do they have
That's
amp?
Probably.
Deja vu.
Yes, the answer is yes, they do. They haven't been forced to use it yet, or they haven't wasted it.
You never
So-
know, loser could have fat figured. You never know.
We could always just
Well, maybe, but no one called it, so you guys wouldn't know.
I can check real quick to see if I did amp there.
No, he amped
I'm
teams, so
assuming you did. There's...
We're moving way too fast.
Alright, here we go.
Next
Lujan
update.
Tower.
So this shows sound barrier gives everyone speed boost. Look, we decided to we decided to give up on DPS entirely.
Let's see, this was...
Yeah, can you check both? Because I don't want to, like... I can't tell if you did. I can't tell if you, like...
See, the percentage was 66 to...
25, yeah.
Is that 9 minutes and 17 seconds?
Well, I'm in a different...
Oh, okay.
He's on his personal VOD.
There was some sort of replay spectator
sys-
system that they
Mm.
promised us.
Ah, we don't talk about that.
Twitch viewer that we have to pay for.
You know, Visel, that's a great idea. Too bad I'll never be
Okay.
able to.
So I didn't quite have I didn't quite have amp. I was 2 seconds away from getting it back off cooldown. when
So
we
you
engaged.
probably amped through...
Let's see if I pop it as soon
Spawn?
as it comes on cooldown. Well, I get shattered as I get my amp cooldown back.
Yeah.
And then I pop it to try and like get some people away from the enemies, and then
Yeah. See, the appropriate response from them would be amp.
so link,
So
there's
if
a link
you...
with timecode if you want to.
Give up.
Yeah, sure, I'll look at that real quick.
Surrender. It was an alpha move.
So you amped out of spawn, looks like, and then you have it on cooldown.
I never realized that when D.Va throws bomb in the little spectator screen, there's a little bunny next to D.Va's name. And when she's in Baby D.Va.
Yeah, it's really cool, eh?
I didn't realize that.
Easter egg. Canadian?
A.
A boot?
Sorry.
My favorite thing is the Winston's secret stash on Horizon.
Oh yeah, on the right. On the right.
Mm-hmm.
Where the bananas and like the wall and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great. It's a nice little Easter egg.
Yeah. So you guys beat into them, so their response should just be, okay, fuck this, amp back to point where they should have already been. Because reasons.
So basically, yeah, like we shouldn't even engage. Once they give up all that space, we should just go to point.
Yeah, so you guys
We
can
should just
go
be
to
like, "Alright."
point, or like if they're gonna like this was kind of a good play on them to like throw a bomb behind you, shatter and all that shit, but it wasn't great.
Bomb went too
Not
far.
gonna lie. But we're all like spread out, so like look at all of us. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Moo should not be there.
Brigands and Lucio are on the flank.
D.Va and Faisal over here.
Perfectly balanced.
That's all things should.
So
We're feeding all equally.
so there's like no target focus here, and so that's one of the problems. Second problem is we don't have amp, or we're not amping into them, which is fine because they would just amp away, but we've committed beat, and I would rather see us, let me see, how do I say this? Okay, so if the play was to use beat to win the fight, I would rather see us like amp into them to force them either to play back here if they're dumb, or force them back to point, and then we follow them and then beat to fight them either in this corner where they're being stupid or on point, right? Which then forces out other ults and blah blah blah, or if they go point, then we have rally up in time and we can just rally instead of beating, right? To force out other ults and a bunch of other shit. Like there's just a ton of other ways this could have gone that would have been better. But just when we try to beat engage here, we need to ask ourselves if we can actually force a fight, right? So are they going to be able to disengage from the fight or outposition us in some way, right? So Bill, that a lot of that's like on you. Be like, okay, when can I amp? When can I beat? Why am I amping? Why am I beating? Right? Like if you don't know why you're amping speed, like speed specifically, if you don't know why you're amping speed, then you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Okay.
Right? Well, cause right, that makes sense, right? You understand why?
Yeah, I have to have a plan.
Yeah, but like if you're just randomly speeding while we're kind of just like just sitting somewhere, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah, that's a waste.
Right? But if you're amping for us to like speed onto someone or to rotate somewhere, right? Like just having an idea of like why you're doing it, right? It's the same with like nano. Like why are you nanoing? Or like certain abilities just like
I want to.
Right?
I generally have some idea.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a very clear idea. Sometimes it's more of a, well, we kind of are in a tough spot. Let's use
Yeah.
some speed.
Yeah.
I feel like charge should be in that case should be renamed to feed.
Turbo feed.
Like in that case.
I mean, that's basically what it already is.
No, charge plus amp speed. Here we go. The ultimate turbo feed.
Is that winnable?
Yo,
Wait, no.
A 50% faster Rhine charge is scary, dude.
Rhine charges in. Lucio amps. Zarya gives him bubble. D.Va flies after him with DM in front of him, like flies behind him with DM.
Just the immortal Greek god.
You have it. You give him harmony, and as he's like hitting someone or as he's getting close to them, you give him armor pack.
You discord the person he's pinned.
And you discord the person. Yeah, they're dead.
Yeah,
and Rhine doesn't die.
They're fucking dead.
Anyway.
Dude, it's the new meta. It's the new meta. It's called the
That's well, that's kind of what people do. So like on Control Center, if you're running Mei, like if it says Snoats v Snoats, or if you're defending against, yeah, if it's a Snoats v Snoats mirror, some teams will,
YOLO their Rhine in.
yeah. So if this is the choke and control center, some teams will like vertically wall, like trying to come through the choke if they're like trying to attack, right? So that way the defending team can't just like horizontally wall it off and just totally fuck you over, right? So then what some teams will do is they'll vertically wall through, and then Ryan will like fucking jump charge over here into them. And you wall up behind them, give them bubble instantly, and you just try to fuck them. Yeah, or you don't even like need to wall them, but like that helps. It's just something people do and can work.
Friends half. Break.
Doomfist.
We have rally up.
Ryan charge. Down
Right,
to
charge. We gotta get.
Just kill the Rhine. The Rhine just doesn't know
Hey,
what
double support on
happens.
it. Double support on it. Over.
The Rhine feeds.
the Doomfist.
I'll get point.
It's actually been experimenting.
Okay, this is what I was mentioning about, talking about earlier. Zen going to going to try to cap point, but there's people who can kill Zen. So there's a Lucio, and I think there's a D.
Oh yeah, this
No.
almost went terrible because of that.
Yeah, so we have
Zen could have died.
way too many people. Visel notices. Visel like fucking notices. Good on him that there's people out there. But like once we force them back here, we should just like fucking rotate back to point. Because we should be paying attention that there's people there.
I mean, Mookout could just be Jonak and just 2v1, you know? It's always possible.
I'm coming.
Why can't just kill them in the forehead?
Just on point. He's trying to go up top.
Kills Zenyatta 5-head.
I'm tossing bomb in the corner. I'm just looking up.
But then they come back in and contest because we didn't kill them. We didn't chase them back past the choke up
The
here.
Rhine fucks up here.
Yeah, well, yeah, a lot of things are weird. So we don't kill anyone else. They all get out, which is a problem. But then we don't kill the Zen until late, and then that gives Lucio enough time to like rotate back around here, speed his team back in. He gets a touch, then his team is coming back in guard through the guard, and then they get a grab off. Right? So they
All the
still have
while, their
control.
percentage is ticking up.
Yeah, exactly. They still have control of the point.
It was tactical. It was to get the grab out. Make it think it's winnable. It's tactical.
Nice.
Alright, yeah.
Break.
I see the Zarya free. I shatter her.
Those are the 4 ults we used in this fight.
Yeah.
And we used beat at the very beginning of it. I don't remember when we used Grav.
At
It was
the same
it was
time.
a
Solo
lockout
grab
time.
the Ryan.
Right. So in this one whole long fight, we've used what, 6 ults?
Yes.
Yes.
And they
Total.
still have point.
But they use 6 ults too, so therefore we're voting out equally.
And we almost have grab again.
Yes,
Look.
but they still had point control.
Yeah, that's true. They
Grab
forget.
and beat.
They still have point control.
Max is right.
Right?
No, I know. I was memeing.
Kill Diva quick. Just kill Diva. And then break.
It was tactical, Max. You see, we're just too
Yeah,
much of
yeah.
a. We're
It's about
craniums are
sending
too
a
rigid.
message.
Our
So-
craniums are too rigid.
Instead of it being 2 fights, so if they recap this immediately, instead of it being 2 fights, it's basically 1.5. So that means 1 fight, 1 proper fight, and then like a staggered fight.
But you see, now we have ult advantage because we threw ult into the dumpster early on.
Because their diva is stupid and fed you guys again. That's why you have ults.
But we knew she would do that. We
Exactly. Alright,
Didn't you hear me call
They're
that? Like,
gonna
come on.
have a grab bomb.
Alright, enough feeding.
Fucking
Enough
put a
feeding.
shatter.
Alright, enough feeding. Max is right.
Visel's got grab. Who cares if he used it in the last fight?
They had it that fast thing, or they're probably halfway to another beat too. Maybe more.
We're gonna have beat soon too.
Yeah, there's JK up there.
Yep.
I think Moo almost snipes the Zen
They
again.
did not use
Yeah, that was a
shatter.
good
Ryan
little scout.
is gonna have it somewhat soon.
I mean, that wasn't your scout, but I mean.
Okay, so scouted, great. See how we played close? We played close.
We're so much nicer in our rotations when we know where the fuck they're going.
Yeah, but we played close, and
Yeah.
then which forces them to go high ground, whether they did that because they were smart or because they just thought that was the thing to do. I don't know. I never give that much credit to teams.
Could ask them for their VOD.
I'm not doing that unless they
I've done
wanna.
that before.
But since that we played close and the proper rotation for them was to go high ground, we forced more time off the clock, and now they have to come all the way through here, and then we just play point, and this is going to be an overtime fight. So we've created space, forced them to take a longer rotation, and now it's going to be an overtime fight. And going back to something I was saying earlier on Control Center is, now this is an example of one of the fights where you can play a little longer, like you can go enter more of a poke war because you have ult advantage, right? And like maybe you're trying to wait a little bit to see if you can build a beat a little bit, to see if you can get rally, to see if Moo can get a pick or something, right? You can play a little bit slower, right? Like, don't give them too much time, but you can play a little slower. That way you have rally, so you can play more aggressive into the grab, or you have beat, so you can play more aggressive into the grab or something, right? So Unstoppable, fucking back the fuck up.
Gotcha.
Don't fight in gardens if you're on defense. Not worth your time.
Gotcha.
I am.
Yeah, they use projectile.
DMing. Somebody on north.
Shade it.
There's
I
D
was
with
just
DM
like that then.
right there.
Yeah, again, letting them come to
Just
walk right in, wait, like, not even like on you, but just like, their Zarya was like over here, their Ryan was like, I think it was like over here or something. Like, they were just in, and they just got through both of these chokes way too easily, basically.
Yeah, for free.
Yeah, basically for free. And they used bubbles and stuff, and we didn't punish it or whatever. Also, when we're looking for a grav, and the grav is the play to win the fight, pressure D.Va. So Visel, that means you pressure D.Va, you like fucking burn the shit out of her with your left click, and that means everyone else is also pressuring D.Va. Right? So the idea is you're forcing out DM, that way Visel can be like, okay, she just DM'd, and as soon as DM goes down, he can grab. Right? So pressuring D.Va to force out DM, or to force her out of mech, or to force her out of the fight. Any of those three is fine, right? Which means Visel gets a lot easier grab and doesn't have to try to force one like this. The same thing goes if you know that they have grab and you want to force it a bad grab.
Keep your D.Va safe.
Or whatever, yeah. So keep your D.Va safe, or pressure their Zarya, right? So it basically goes for like a lot of things in the game, but in the GOATS meta, it's basically D.Va and Zarya are the main ones. So you pressure D.Va to make your Zarya's job easier, but you pressure Zarya to make... Wait, did I just reverse that? You pressure D.Va to make Zarya's job easier. You pressure Zarya to make D.Va's job easier, right? You pressure them to force out like panic ults, or them to use their resources, right? And that works for a lot of characters, but specifically in the GOATS meta where we're looking at Zarya and D.Va.
We got 99%.
She's saving DM like the whole time.
Also, we can bait out DM with Fire Strike.
And they're gonna have a shatter and a grab bomb too.
Visel, you can look at different ways that people bait out DM. Some people flick to the ground, or just like flick to the side.
Tactical right.
Yeah, lots of people do that, but it's very common to try to fake out the D.Va, right? What else can we do?
Oh, my favorite way to fuck with... Oh, yeah. Keep an eye out for this, Visel. My favorite way to fuck with Zarya is... This is how I ate the King's Row grab my first time playing with these guys. I flew into their team, then flew directly up, and then just DM'd my entire team. And then they chucked grab into it. Too funny.
Yeah.
Big brain.
So you have to watch when D.Vas will like do 180s or like look down at the ground. Because they'll like hold DM on you, then they'll like look down at the ground, then look back up, and it'll make you think that they've used DM. And then they haven't, and then they'll eat it. I don't think any like 3.7 to 3.9 teams are really gonna do that, or like mid to high masters D.Vas are really gonna do that a lot, like consistently.
I'm doing that now.
And just stare at the D.Va. Just stare.
Yeah, consistently.
The moment that goes down, you got a nice wide opening.
Right. Well, because they're not going to do it consistently because first of all, the alt tracking on teams is not going to be perfect, right? So chances are you can build a graph pretty quickly and try to surprise one of them, and their alt tracker won't know it or whatever. There's a lot going on in goats, so sometimes divas get distracted or pressured out, like we were talking about. Like there's lots of things that can fuck with a diva, like that aren't even intentional. So.
Like other divas.
Yeah.
I've got to avoid getting shattered here. I'm gonna
play how many times I've been sitting there DMing like fucking unstoppable, and next thing you know I turn like to my right like 30 degrees, and there's just the diva shooting me in the side.
Oh, sorry, I was on the wall. Alright, we're going.
And this is just kind of a staggered fight. Like I said, one full fight and one staggered fight, right? Because you guys tried to had to go through main and tried to push through point. The Rhine was kind of waiting for you and just doing whatever. I don't fuck. I really hate teams positioning on this map specifically. Sometimes.
It's kind of a weird map.
And then shit just goes down. Blah 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 blah. And then they play triple. And then they play triple. Do you guys want me to go over this?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't have a ton of time, but yeah.
Well, I
Unless
can
you want to go extra length.
well, I can go a little bit longer. I was gonna stream after this anyway, so it's not a big deal to me.
Extra length is always appreciated.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to go in like 10, by the way. Dude, I've been muted this whole time. Come on.
Oh, it's the scrim all over again.
No, we were ignoring you.
This is authentic.
Okay,
oh my
yeah,
God.
I'm probably gonna have to go in like 10. Dude, I was like asking questions, but like other people were asking it too, so I like figured.
Okay, so it's fine. Like you don't have any questions that you want to talk about now?
Oh, I asked if that was like too early of a rally on the last fight.
Like at the very last one?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go back and have a look at it.
Just real fast, right?
Here. I'm gonna play high ground. Check for the.
A little bit early.
Yeah, okay.
I'd rather you do it like on this corner, or like as you get closer to them. Just because it gives them more time to react, and it's less time that rally's going on during like the actual fight, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like the biggest deal, but in a fight like this, it's not a big deal because it's gonna be scrappy. It's gonna be whatever. But like on control, like we were talking about, like the early rally on that one, it gives the other team time to react and time to reposition or have an idea of what they want to do, right? And you want to be trying to be close to the enemy team. That way you can have a clean and decisive push through like a choke or something. Like, again, this doesn't matter because their positioning is god awful and it's last fight and it's going to be scrappy anyway. So, it's whatever. It's not a big deal.
Flank right.
Okay, so this map. Actually, on this map and Night Market, you guys should be looking out for quad and triple a lot. Specifically this one, but also Night Market is kind of, teams can play it on there too. So you guys need to be scouting really early and as much as possible on initial rollouts.
That's why I picked this.
Yeah, so we expect it.
Their far just boosted straight up into the air. We're like, yeah, it's quad.
Yeah, but the fact is we're on bridge, and I don't think anyone's called it yet. It's right there. Like, right before this concussion mine hits is when we called the Afara. Right? So that's too late. We need to call that sooner. Also, going White Room is probably better. Unless
it's goats for goats.
Unless you're running like Sombra Moira or something, or you're not, if you're not running this, or you're not running Orion instead, and you're running like a Moira or an Anna, or a Sombra for whoever you guys want to do it on, whichever, it doesn't matter. Yeah. But on the comp that like this comp with the floats with the Zen, I would rather you guys go just white room, right? Yeah. If you guys need to like, if you guys see that they're running Rhine goats, okay, you just back up and go bridge. No big deal, right? It's not a big deal. But if they're going like triple or quad or they're like mirroring you guys or whatever, then white room is better, right? Yeah.
Did we lose anyone? No? Okay, we're good. I put ball away. Lost half. Summer behind us.
I'm jamming far.
Ball one. Big pig. Epping heals.
I'm 200 HP.
Oh, sorry, that was my bad.
I'm jamming SP. I know where to
This is tragic. Watch this.
Alright, we cap.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I don't know how the shield is
turned.
yeah, shield is weird. You have to be very careful with it, right?
It's not like Reinhardt. It's not curved. It's a fucking plank.
So we need to be playing slow. Just play slow. Just play point. It's all good. We can contest bridge with monkey. Like they can't do anything to us, right?
So I should just be where Visel is, honestly.
Yeah, just play where Visel is, right? D.Va can just be on this wall and here. That way she can react to window for Pharah. She can react to the other side for Sombra or this side for Sombra. Because Sombra's going to be over here or over here. Like, those are the only two places she's going to go. She might go, like, outside here to, like, look for a hack onto you, but that does nothing. Because then,
They just pocket me.
then you just get bubbled and you get armor pack, like, there's nothing they can do. Unless they have ults. But yeah, those two positions are where Sombra's likely to be. D.Va can just sit on this wall, then she can react to everything. She can be wherever she needs to be. And you can be up on this bridge. You're not going to get booped or anything. You're not going to pressured out super hard. Visel can just kind of rotate back and forth between the two. Because he's not going to get punished here right now. But as soon as they start to take more positioning on the bridge and stuff, then he has to be more careful. Yeah.
Should I be with Unstoppable there? Like if they're playing up where he said?
It's SB.
I'm thinking.
Brig, yeah.
I would think no.
No. No. I would say like either on like in here, like in by this part of point, just like playing like this in between area, or like on this side, right? Because then you're covering this side for Sombra, and this area is typically where your Zen is gonna play anyway, right? So in this situation, I actually like commented on a Reddit post and was like, there was asking about how you play Brig with floats or whatever, and I was just saying like, yeah, typically you just play with your Zarya. But like in situations, right, it's important that you play with Zen. So if you're playing against dive, if you're playing against triple or quad, Zen, it's important to like be aware of where your Zen is. So playing in this area is going to be most beneficial for you. Okay. Because you can still throw armor pack, and then you can peel for Zen.
Yeah, because I've always been a little bit confused what to do with floats on Brig. So yeah, that helps.
Yep. But in like a floats mirror or goats mirror, yeah, you typically play with Zarya. Like she is the main tank. But there's lots of situations where you end up having to play with Zen more.
Winston just kind of does his own thing, honestly, in floats.
Winston does that. Lucio is kind of roaming like around point, doing whatever.
Making sure everyone's safe.
Yeah. Lucio just needs to make sure he doesn't get like hacked from behind, or doesn't get caught out if you're helping Unstoppable at the bridge, which I think happens. Can't remember.
I remember Moo had some really questionable positioning at one point.
I might be able to move
Brig,
on bridge.
you could just honestly just go 1v6 13.
They're on point.
Forehead.
What about their Brig though?
They don't have a Brig.
Unstoppable, you understand why I have. Yeah, I will talk about that. But you understand why that I have you positioned here, right?
Yes, because it controls the space and cuts off the off angle from the
Yeah,
soldier.
so it's basically shuts down
well as it-
soldier.
It also in the way the Lucio's like positioned to help soldier as well, so what's kind of
Yeah.
happened? Yeah, I was getting twice as much value.
So you control
just
lots of
controlling
space.
Just
Yep.
controlling space.
Cool.
basically.
Moves out of position. Bubble, don't play there.
Yeah.
Play on
Hey
point.
guys, I'm Jonak. I'm Jonak, by the way.
Alright, boss.
I got this. Let's see what happens to Moo. Huh, he's dying. Wait a minute, how did he die?
I don't know.
you just see SB and JK like, wait.
That was a flawless position. I don't know how he could have gotten picked off there.
I have beat.
Yo, just press right click SB, lift through the fire barrage.
If I beat.
Solid. Okay, that worked.
It did. You did it.
This was such a huge stall.
Dude,
This is why triple and quad don't tend to work against goats.
This map at least.
I'm doing my
Look
best,
at
dude.
that. I was just LOSing Farah the whole
You're
time.
just like, hey Fire, what are you doing? Peekaboo.
And then I accidentally
Wait.
her LOS there.
Wait.
And I just go in after.
Did no one comment on how I literally outbrained the Farah? Like, dude, I saw her fly through the window, instant DM'd her as she barrage, and just ran her over. It was the funniest time of my life.
Oh, dude, I wanted to suck your dick after that one.
It just didn't exist. It was great. It just
I did suck his dick after.
Hey, can I go?
Oh.
Jesus.
Okay,
Okay, good, damn it.
Sloppy
Alright.
seconds.
Alright,
Oh my god.
so this is why triple and quad tends to struggle against goats if you play point properly.
I'm on point.
So you just stall it out, you just drag the fight out for super
Yeah,
long.
and on Koth it's
Oh,
just
nice
like
charge getting on those mines.
You just
Yeah.
Yeet.
there are other maps that where it works beautifully on, like Blizzard World, but there's
I
not
was
really
gonna
any
have another
cover.
ult soon.
Why am I on heels? I have a transcendence.
Yeah.
yeah, don't be on heels while you're on trance.
You've done it.
I'm gonna do my 16 heals per second to the transcendence is 300.
300 and something.
Do you touch again and stuff? Yep.
Yeah, I do. Well, why wouldn't you?
I think I got
Like,
hacked.
we're still dragging out the fight. We're almost at 90%. It's like might as well.
Yeah, now we can give it up and it's only
Yeah,
one fight to
now.
win.
What a stall, dude.
Ba-ding,
What a
95.
stall.
Then we call it give it up.
Alright, I actually have to head out,
They
guys.
used EMP, but it probably
That's
has
alright.
again.
That's dumb.
Twice, probably halfway to
Thanks,
that.
though, man. Or Max, I mean.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright, love you, babe. You have fun.
Damn. Didn't say I love you too to any of them.
Alright,
Yeah,
after
Pete, fuck you.
after this, I want to go over Busan first fight, Mecha Base.
Okay,
I want to see what the fuck happened there, because we should have won that fight.
this will just be quick
I have
because it's just fucking.
Yeah, but they're gonna have
It's us inting.
they're gonna have
Like,
another soldier, although he was farming.
a minute and a
another
half.
mines too.
Yeah, this is us just
That was a while ago.
getting spammed down and racked over and over.
I saw her use concussion. I was like, alright, let's go bridge.
Okay, yeah, don't like
We threw deep
don't
bomb to
yeah don't go over bridge.
Okay.
Like
We lived
Well,
though.
I know you guys did, but I know you guys did, but I'm pretty sure you
If it
lose
worked,
this
then
fight.
This is a good strat, right?
Like
If the Far dies to bomb though, is it then okay to go over bridge? At least for Winston, go over bridge.
Winston can go. So okay,
Let
so
me
let's
see.
talk about this.
He's not vulnerable to boot from ball.
Zen, Brig, Zarya, and Lucia will typically go with them, but be able to roam. Can all go White Room, and then you have like Winston Diva jump over here, or jump like through window, or like onto here, right? So then you have pressure coming in from this side, and that clears out this side from like Sombra, because Sombra's gonna be the only one playing over there. Ball won't be, like seriously doubt Ball will be. Soldier should be over here on this bridge or in Dojo or something. Farah's gonna be playing on this side because Farah's don't play on the other side. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but Farah's just don't. It's weird.
Yeah.
So it's fine to like split up your forces like that a little bit.
You see, the plan is they want you to shoot at them, so they stand out right in the middle of the open for a Widowmaker to headshot them from spawn.
Yeah.
Alright.
Answer the phone.
But even if you guys get bombed, like I don't like throwing like four. What's it for? It's four, yeah. 3 to 4 characters over bridge where they could have potentially get booped by Hammond, concussion, Lucio boop. Right?
Can I just say I loved this scrim. I had a lot of fun on this one.
That's
It
good.
was actually a challenge,
Yeah.
and not an absolute massacre where we're literally throwing Bob and Immortality Field. into
Yeah,
the
not against
Fucking
fucking Defiance there.
He did pop it over down. He just spun.
They're like, what do we do? What do we
Chuck
do?
a boom. Oh, that was it.
That scrim, I was so bored, dude. I was like, even if I don't use the no one's gonna die.
Fun fact, that was against that was a team that was part of my previous org
Yeah.
that I was part of.
Yeah,
Oh, that
literally,
was great.
JK was just going into their spawn and like hooking people off the map.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was just brutal.
Don't put lowest fight teams against me. I'm a very spawn campy person. But if I know I can do it, I'm gonna do it.
JK. It's like
Just-
spelled out.
Yeah, you should see me in comp.
Alright, let's go.
Alright.
Alright, speeding in. Oh, we lost
Let's
break.
go.
Mercy dies because she's a bot, and then Fire.
She also.
Oh, I had to reload.
And then
on my-
Fire gets down and low.
SP. Wait,
I go white ring, go
did
white
I just
See?
see that off the edge?
You did.
Okay, look, you guys
Oh,
are
he's
going
not
white
here.
room anyway, which is right, but
We just dicked around in the fucking courtyard.
We baited him. We baited him.
Yeah,
It's okay.
Eight
Look,
thousand
they're all in
IP.
courtyard now.
Look, we got 3 picks. Like we're the best team in the world, dude.
And then we just lose this fight, I think.
No, we have a brig. We can't lose.
Oh.
No, we don't
They're
have a
gonna
brig.
have a
She
fire barrage,
just
let's have a
Yeah, she
Oh,
mashed
right.
off the edge.
now we have brig.
But she's
Just
currently
hold
smacking
shield,
mines
dude.
around.
Just hold shield. You won't die. Easy.
I always hate recording on this map because you can't watch fights on point very well.
There's a lot of rounds like that.
Yeah, all your healers are.
There's a
There's
look at
always-
farm over there. Just
I have
ignore that real quick.
When I get there.
They have ult advantage. You just have to be more aware of like their positions.
Yeah, if you
Also
use
knowing
that,
like the difference between ult tracking against like a quad or triple versus like goats or like a dive or something.
Dude, it's so hard.
I know it's hard.
What is it?
Like I thought Soldier would have ult, but he was only halfway, and I thought Fire had it, and that was correct. Like I was right on some of these, but it was tough because Soldier was like getting ult half as slow as I thought he would compared
Yeah,
to Sombra.
well, their soldier
Well,
wasn't doing a whole lot.
I was corralling him a lot more. I was
Yeah,
pressuring him.
soldier wasn't doing a whole lot.
Oh,
Plus, you have less practice like ultra against concepts like this, and it's harder to track. Because then you have to worry about like individual performance. Where in goats, it's just like, cool, we're hitting shit. We all know we're hitting shit, right?
Yeah.
Whereas you don't have like a tracer who's like off on some fuck off flank, and just doing nothing, right?
Even against Ghosts, sometimes they have a Jay Jonak on their team, and then we just.
Yeah, all of a
And then
sudden
they,
he
it's like
kills
they don't
two
have
people
transcendence.
immediately, it's like, wait a minute.
Well,
The J
if
is
they're,
silent in Jonak.
yeah, it is.
Jonak.
So we called it back off here.
No, like the double J's means it's like
It's
pronounced
just Jonak.
Jonak. Yeah,
It's silent. The first J is silent.
Like the second letter
What-
in my last name.
I don't.
What if the second J is?
Ooh.
I don't remember. Someone explained it.
It's gonna be
Gonak.
Okay.
Jonak.
Alright.
Okay.
Alright, no more interruptions for a little bit. Max? We broke him, guys.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Fuck. What was I just gonna say?
We were backing off.
We're backing off. No, there was something very specific that I wanted to say. Shit.
It was alt tracking about like quad versus goats.
And it was tough, and the Soldier got out slowly, and
Well, Trafar got alt really fast.
There was something else. It wasn't. I don't think it was about all tracking. Shit. Give me a second.
well, tracking is tough, dude. Takes a lot of brain power. I'm bested it on Lucio, because Lucio doesn't
Lucio
take.
is 0 brain power. Just kidding.
Well,
Paul.
I just have all the
I'm just kidding,
habits
I'm just
down on
kidding.
Lucio. I don't have to think about wall running.
It's
Don't have
more
to think
muscle
about.
memory. It's more muscle
Oh,
memory
yeah.
at this point.
I could. When I play Mercy in Mana, it's a lot harder.
Okay, I
Think about
don't
like,
remember what I was gonna say, but it'll be fine.
Yes, you do.
Mhm.
Have you seen my VODs?
Yes.
Dink and headshots. Ding ding ding.
Ding, ding.
Ding ding ding. Yo, just watch the VODs, yeah. Oh, you see them in the kill cam too a lot. Or the kill feed, I mean.
Yeah. It's
Alright.
typically alongside my face is a bigger one, but you know.
Yeah. Well.
okay.
Okay. So yeah, you just have to be more aware of like, okay, they're gonna get more ults if they're playing like a fire, burst damage, splash damage, right?
Against goats. That's
yeah.
gonna be big.
Also, if
All
you
he gets
guys
is
are,
he gets ult really quickly.
yeah, so I would rather you guys like swap to Rhine and just do whatever, like try to just take point on this fight, honestly, or like commit to playing Moira or playing like Sombra instead of
Or like Ana, Winston, or something. Just go full.
Eh. I don't really like Anna Winston against like a comp like this. I'd rather have either a
go Ghost.
Moira or like a
Wait, did you say Anna Winston?
yeah, he said Anna Winston. I think like swapping like making another swap would be better, either like over to Ryan or like Moira or playing like Winston Sombra or something like that. I think that would be better than just playing Anna Winston.
Typically, yeah.
Right? Because at this point, you're playing for point control, right? Like you're gonna have to go back and you have to go straight to point. But it's fine, it's whatever. Like this comp works, it's just personal preference and shit.
And then we see right here. Yeah. So we. Did we see?
Slumber's really farming there, but another
We
game
do.
soon.
It takes us a little while.
They can have Valkyrie.
Yeah, let's just say, alright, the new rule, Diva's the one that Diva and Lucio are the
Alright,
ones
do we
that
speed through left
have the job.
white room and
I
then
normally have
speed
my
in?
eyeball on it, and I was like, okay, we got 20 seconds, and then I was just like, and it's over, and I was like, oh, that was 20 seconds, was it? I forgot to check back at the percentage number there.
Diva, go point.
It was a bit tragic. We killed Ball. If I had touched, that would have been big.
Alright.
We should get a fat reset.
It's painful that I didn't touch. It's
I just
painful. It
want
hurts
you
me physically.
guys to watch your rotation here.
Ball's coming from behind.
Okay.
So Jay jumps
Slumber's
off.
really farming there, but another game soon.
We're resetting.
They can have Valkyrie.
We're resetting, but we're still poking against a long range comp.
Well, we don't exactly have time to reset now. We got 14 seconds.
Yeah,
No,
no,
but-
I mean just go on the other side of this and just sit there. Right.
He's saying that we should have just fucked off, like, and just left.
Like
LOS.
like
if you
Visel,
do.
yeah, like Visel's here, SP's here, like you guys aren't, you're just taking poke, like there's no reason, and Jay is coming back from spawn, right? You guys can touch, you have Monkey, you have Diva, like you have Lucio, you'll be able to touch, I promise you.
And then we panic and.
And you can just sit here, you're taking poke, which means you're giving them alt charge to win the next fight off of, right?
Yeah.
They're all getting there too.
Yeah.
Alright, do we speed through left white
Right.
room and then
So the longer you guys idle, and you guys kind of like sit here and kind of like, okay, where are we going now? But like the decision should be made before Jay even like rejoins you guys. Like the decision should be made like, okay, we're going white room. Okay, we're going bridge. Okay, Winston's gonna jump window. Everyone else is going white room. Whatever it is. Like the decision should be made while. Then, fuck, improvise. What do you want me to tell you?
Lucio,
go to happen.
you better get the biggest Reddit in your fucking life.
Um,
Just go flying.
But yeah, decisions should be made like that, like before you guys start to push out, right? And the longer you guys sit here and idle, the more likely you'll see 9, and the more percentage you give them, and the more likely they are to get ults, right? Which is it's what's gonna win them the fight. Like nothing else is gonna win them the fight except for their ults. That's the only time they've won fights, and even then it's like 50-50. It's not 100%.
Right, here we go.
Yeah.
Someone's in.
Moo is very late on this rotation, and Build is trying to Moo, and Build is trying to like bring Moo back. So rotation through here is kind of slow.
Diva, go point.
Very slow.
Yeah,
We
blame
just- yoink.
yeah.
The time.
So
The main tank is never at fault, as you can see.
yeah, so we sit in this area too long as well, right? No one like jumps over. Moo's slow in his rotation through. Everyone else kind of just like looks back at them because like Hammond comes in, slams down. Then we're just kind of like looking at Hammond and we kill him, but Hammond's a distraction, right? Hammond's distraction and point contention.
So unless someone's on point, that's irrelevant.
Like he's not gonna kill anyone unless someone hits a ferret rocket or he gets hit with a helix or whatever, right? But Moo shouldn't be that far back with Build. Build shouldn't have to go that far back for Moo or Bubble if Bubble you're playing Zen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always come back for you though.
How so?
But yeah, the rotation should be sooner, which means Ball doesn't get as much like pressure, and then we don't have to like look back, and then we can touch point and not C9. Yay!
1, 2, 3, break.
All right, where was Busan? Let me
I
find
think it's
Busan.
like one of the ladder maps.
Dorado, Volskaya.
99 to almost 99.
We played ladder.
Basically every time.
No.
So.
Dude, I
I
hope
was
they had a
gonna say.
6-stack ladder. I'm gonna be
I
so
don't think that
happy
word
if they
means
did.
what you think it means.
There's Boostin.
I have a like a good job.
It was the first fight of Mecha Base.
Those beautiful.
First fight,
rotating
mecha base.
walls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rotate.
I think it was
All the cooldowns
around
and let's have a fun time.
128 or something. Yeah, 128 is when we start mecha base.
Is he?
We're already on Mecha. Or
There we go.
Rusev.
There we go.
Let me look at this.
Also, NA camera angle, by the way.
I think they're just AFK.
Oh, no, not yet. Ryan's
Renzo,
We can
Renzo,
still kind of see.
Alright. He does go in.
So what? Okay, you guys are red.
What is this? An overhead for ants?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys take the space, which is great, and that forces them into this angle, which means okay, their Zarya is now basically cut off, heavily contested space. Corners are 101 binary. Corners are Zen's best friend, but they can also be one of his worst enemies. So if Zen's playing this corner, sure, he has cover, he can like dodge damage, whatever.
But he can't play Discords.
But it's gonna be hard if you guys pressure them and you guys like if you guys force like pressure the Zarya, he can't get harmony on her unless he exposes himself into a super vulnerable position. Or takes like a wide angle or whatever, and he's super close to the fight if you guys shove them back into this box, right? So you guys take the space, which is good. Zarya's out of position now. Neither team gets great usage out of the bubble. It's all right. But their Zen is kind of just like, can't do much. I'd also like to see like their shield health. I would really like to see their shield health because they've taken a lot of damage in this like just pre-fight state, like
Was he even
whatever.
shielding?
Yeah, like how much I would like to see like your
Well, the Diva
difference
also
in
didn't
your
need I know Diva didn't need a Fire Striker too.
yeah.
So she just let her team just get cleaved.
Yeah, so I would definitely be interested to look at the shield health and
Man,
DM usage.
If only there was a recording system that allowed us to.
Vice already made the joke. He was better at it.
DMing.
Then Zarya gets out. You guys pressure them back. They can't do anything about it.
He does. I'm on you.
This is really unlucky, I think, on me.
Alright, we have.
The Zen like charges a volley.
And then you guys trade Rhines, but you hit a shatter, so it's all good.
Break discarded.
I
Kill
gotta
their Lucio, and then we somehow lose this fight.
We lose this? Really? Actually, no, that doesn't surprise me.
Bill just leaves. Bill just like leaves.
He still would have died anyway, actually. Well, cause look, like, well, they have rally up. That's the big difference. SP didn't have rally, and they have rally to sustain.
If the Zen hadn't gotten a volley off on me when I went to shatter, then we would have won it.
Yep.
Because rally, they wouldn't have had Brian or Lucio.
Yep.
So they couldn't even. We could just amp away.
But
if
the
needed.
fact that Brig, like, okay, so yeah, the volley and then Brig is Inspire, has Inspire, which is the big difference.
The rally,
Because now you have a high charge Zarya, a Brig with rally, and a Diva shooting you from like your two main
All
damage
different-
dealers from like all ranges, right? And there's Zen's over here, and all he has to do is like turn around and like start shooting. Put
Yeah.
Discord on one of them, right?
Yeah.
So rally and then an unlucky volley would be the reasons why you guys lost this, I would say.
Yeah.
Wait.
Eva's fucking on me.
Where did we all go?
Zen?
I think there.
Did
I
get
think it was just because of the fact that the Diva wasn't eating my Fire
Oh
Strikes.
jeez.
Like, cause I like went like my Fire Strike tagged all of them. So I got my ult like in like 2 Fire Strikes, right?
Mhm.
Oh, you died. Oh, I thought you were.
And
alive.
and like, cause like the shield like was super weak as well, right? So he was clearly using shield, like, cause the shield broke. So I think it was just the Diva wasn't eating Fire Strikes and stuff like that, and I was just able to just throw them and make half their team half.
Mhm. Okay.
That was it.
Does anyone have anything else they want to like look at specifically or questions they want to talk about?
I want to look at you. Can you turn on my face cam?
How are you doing,
I-
Max?
I'm doing great. I don't have a webcam set up or anything, so
NA streamer.
Are you good looking?
I would say so, yeah.
That's good. That's good. Confidence.
You're
Oh,
not
yeah.
on Snap.
Oh,
By the
I
way,
have a story about that.
XQC moved into the town I live in.
Actually, Pepeg,
Yeah.
clap.
I'm so
palm in his
sorry.
hands.
Dude, go visit him.
I'm
Yeah,
so
I know.
sorry.
I'm gonna fucking find just like a creep. Just fucking find him and then just like say hi.
So is there anything else questions wise? Or
I
any
don't think so.
What did you eat for
Me-
breakfast?
An English muffin.
Ew, gross. All right.
Rude.
What were you gonna say, Unstoppable?
Let's see. Oh yeah, me and Moo are still discussing about individual VOD reviews, Max.
Right.
Yeah, cause like we're gonna have you go through everyone, and I mean everyone. Like
Mm.
no, cause like for all I know, I'm the worst player on the team. Or for
No,
all we
we
know.
know.
And for all
I
we know,
agree with
like
Yeah.
but
Well,
you know what?
yeah. So the way I kind of look at it is like live coaching when I'm in the scrims is more like picking out little things, like little mechanical things, positioning. And like VOD reviews, like if it's a team VOD review, it's like bigger things. So the
Like team
like
play.
yeah. So I wanted to focus on like engagements, disengagements, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This session, and then there'll be other stuff that I like bigger concepts and
Like, go more in
ideas.
depth
Yeah.
when it's a one-on-one kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of wanted to talk about baits and fakes, but I didn't really get a lot of chance to do that, but it's whatever. Yeah, some other time.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm probably gonna go grab something to eat, then I'll keep streaming. If... Actually, I don't need to... I'm gonna go play some ranked while I'm streaming, so I will still be streaming if you guys want to watch that, but like, you guys don't have to. But yeah, DM me if you have any questions or stuff you want to talk about. I'll talk to you guys later.
Alright, I love you.
Bye.
Why does the stream say 18 plus?
That's his Frost
That's,
streams, yeah.
Frost.
Yeah.
It's because we swear. It's because we swear.
Oh, I haven't heard Max swear once.
I try not to swear on stream.
Oh.
I really, if it's on for Ospreys, then yeah, I swear. I really do. But
I said shit earlier.
I try not to.
He
There was
He
one
did.
time during
The
this,
S-word?
I
Did.
I like half said like shit or something or fuck or something, and I half said something else.
Now, is that on stream that you just said that?
Yeah, I did.
Max.
Holy shit, dude.
I'm allowed to swear every once in a while.
Stop fucking swearing.
You fucking cunt.
I didn't say it.
But yeah, Max, it honestly surprised me. Like when I first met you, it was in our scrim, right? So and you were like you're pretty PG, and then
Yeah.
like I started recording for you, and all of a sudden you're like,
Yeah,
"Fuck
because
that, you idiot," and I'm like, "Whoa, like this is completely different."
yeah, well, different atmosphere, right? And it's like
Oh yeah.
I've been around those players longer, and it's
You
it's
guys have
different.
a better idea of what they're cool with.
Yeah,
Let
and
me just have my
what I
Discord spam on your stream right now.
yeah, it's beautiful. You're talking about me though, right? That's otherwise I'll have to cut this out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
And my name
Yeah.
really does match my profile picture. It's really pretty.
Yeah.
Sure. If you guys ever use my memes on your streams, that's fine. I would just like some royalty on that.
If you get a donation mentioning the meme,
Yeah.
50% cut.
I'll have
50% cut.
I'll have a little box in like the bottom right hand side or something. It just has like
Feed the players.
just has a roll, like just alternates through Bubble's memes, and just like
If I
thanks
got a
to Bubble or
Dropbox
something.
folder full of them. There's like 50.
Team house goal 0 out of $100,000 acquired.
Yeah, team house goal. It's like
We only need $99,990 more dollars, guys. Come on.
that's actually really kind of. It's a really kind of like unique way though. Honestly, unique like having just memes just like scroll across kind of thing.
Yeah. Like a side scroller or something, yeah.
Yeah. Just like in
Come
the
on,
corner.
clap.
But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. DM me if you have questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love you.
All right.
Alright, stream. I'll be back in a little bit. I'm just gonna go get some more water and maybe grab a snack. We'll see. Like 5 minutes, maybe. Maybe less. Alright, I'm back. What do I need to do? Ba ba ba. Close step in, close pen. Let's open up. Open up this account. Do I want to keep going or do I want to stop? I guess I'll keep playing. Why not? Might as well stream it if I'm playing. That VOD review is going to be everything's laggy. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stop stream. That way I have 2 separate videos. I can upload that one easier to YouTube. Less stuff I have to cut off and whatever. And I can actually listen to music. So stream will be up in another minute. I'm just gonna end it real quick and restart it.